Well, good morning. It's Monday morning. It's December 27th. And I thought today and this week we'd do things a little different. We'll pick up Matthew again in a few days, but today I want to talk about something we've all got in our houses. Every one of us has a Christmas tree, right? And Christmas trees are just a thing you're supposed to have, and you're supposed to go out and cut a fresh tree, but those are hard to find, so you go out and buy a fresh tree. If you've got $1,000, if you're like the Scots, the rest of us, you just buy a fake one and see if you can make it last 20 years. We have two fake ones actually in our house. At any rate, we all have Christmas trees. And a Christmas tree, the Lutherans will tell you that Martin Luther stumbled out of his house one night and looked at the tree with the ice hanging on it and the moonlight sparkling, and it looked like stars, and he thought, oh, what a wonderful thing. And so he cut the tree and brought it in the house and hung candles all over it for his children to capture the image of the starlit, icy Christmas tree. Now, one hates to be always debunking Lutheran cherished myths, but I don't think that one is actually accurate. Because 800 years before Luther, there was a missionary sent to Germany named Winfrid. The Latins called him Boniface, and that's the name by which he is known as Saint Boniface. And Boniface found a bunch of pagans on the winter solstice celebrating and worshiping around this oak tree. And this would never do. This was blasphemy. And so in a fit of rage, he grabbed an axe and cut down the oak tree. And in its place sprang up, legend says, a fir tree. Don't know how that would happen, except that it might have been a miracle, but that's the story. So the fir tree grows. The pagans recognize the fir tree with its evergreen sense as a symbol of the everlasting God, the God of the Christians. And the pagans are all converted. And so the tree then is decorated, and evergreen trees are used as a symbol of God's eternity and decorated around Christmas time. It's just something we do. It might have to do with bringing something that smells good into your house in the winter and putting lights on it just to chase away the darkness. There are all kinds of practical reasons why you would do this. Many years ago, I was serving a church, and they decided it'd be a wonderful thing to have the hanging of the greens ceremony, and they handed me this ceremony that they'd used, and I started reading it, and I started thinking, I don't know about a lot of this. So I went to the library and spent a day in some reference books and realized that almost everything in that service was fake. It was just not accurate at all. And that, in fact, there were canons of the ancient church that said, no, you shouldn't do these things. So I finessed it as best I could, and I think we did a hanging of the greens once or twice. And I have no opposition to hanging greens in the church. It's beautiful, and it smells good, and it's wonderful. But let's not turn something somebody thought of one day in a publishing house into something holy, because that's just not the way things should go. So I don't know if Boniface is responsible for the Christmas tree or Martin Luther, but at any rate, that's one of the things that we do, even in our sanctuary, to celebrate the feast of the Incarnation. And that's really what Christmas is about. We have kind of this secular present-giving holiday that's overlaid over a significant religious holiday, and that is Christmas, or the Feast of the Incarnation, which is a time when we celebrate that God became human being. And that, if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know how to help you. The fact that God could become a human being is miraculous and wonderful, and demonstrates his amazing love for us and desire to give us grace. And so let us continue to celebrate for 12 days and let us all have a Merry Christmas. See you tomorrow.